Right, for the next stage, I've cut these plates out. I think I've shown these previously. Now I've done some slight modifications to the design, which I will update, and I will change any diagrams I've posted in the links next to the video. By the way, if you're looking at this video, please look in more info as I show longer video clips and links off to pictures and diagrams and so on. I do this in a lot of my videos. Right, so there's the gearbox, there's the plates that are going on the side. In fact, this is the lower one because I've folded the top edge of this over. This is 1mm thick steel plate, just mild steel. Now what I've decided to do is I'm welding them together. I've made a strip of metal which I'm using to form a casing around the gearbox. It might be a little bit bulky in the hand. That's the only drawback with it, but we'll see how it works. If it's not very good, maybe I can change it. Basically, you can see this conceals the gearbox in the grip. Now I basically wanted to leave a little bit of space around it to give me a bit of tolerance in terms of mounting it, some slight adjustment to get everything correct, but I think I'm going to be working out quite well on it, really. Obviously the wire's got to be inside the casing, so that's got to be able to feed up in there. Right, so this section from here, let's see, if I put the top side on that, like so, you can see it's starting to take some shape. That gearbox will be slightly higher up in there, like that. Now this section of it, obviously that's going to be up inside the 40mm box, and this will be secured down in a few ways. It's going to have a bolt running through there, which will probably also hold the grip on the side. I've got space to put a bolt through down here in this corner, and one up here, so it'll have a screw through in two places. Hopefully they won't get in the way of the of holding it. As I say, it's a bit bulky. These welds will be ground off, and hopefully it'll still be strong enough. I've used a similar sort of technique on other things, and it seems to work. If you have the current high enough, it welds into the actual gap. It causes the two pieces of steel to fuse together, and then you grind the surplus off, and it still holds once you've done it. It's just a matter of getting the current, the right amount of current flowing to do it correctly. Anyway, if I take the gearbox out of this, that'll be approximately, I have actually marked up with a line under there where I'm going to cut a hole, but basically that's it there. Yeah, you can see I've also put a buttstock on this, which I managed to find a nice piece of hardwood I had stored away in the garage. Nice big plank, really, probably off some old furniture, and I think by the time it's got some treatment on there, it'll look just about the right sort of colour. I don't think these buttstocks should actually look too dark, when they're new at least anyway. I think they were probably somewhere around that colour, maybe a touch darker, but by the time I put the finish on it, it'll darken it in a little bit. Yeah, so it's getting there. I'm going to use the drum magazine, which I showed previously. That'll be mounting on the side, something like that. Just take that out of the way. Just have to see how it all turns out. Okay, I've done a few more jobs on the MG42. I've fabricated this end up out of a bit of piping, and I've turned it on the lathe to put some rings on it, and then I've just tack welded the pipe in three positions. And I worked out how to make this little cone piece at the front here. I just made a cone out of some paper and cut it into the right shape, and then lay it down on the metal, and worked out, drew down the shape around the paper, and then folded it up in the metal. I've used about 2mm steel. Took a little bit of beating in the vise and so on a bar, and it's sort of there. Anyway, I've gone over this with an angle grinder. I just thought, just to see how the colour gets onto it, see if I've taken enough of the galvanising off the outer surface. I thought I'll see what I can do in terms of quick oil bluing procedure. So what I use is, I put the metal on a number of old bricks, and I use a propane gas torch. It doesn't produce a brilliant result, but it looks quite authentic in terms of it looks aged and used. You can also, for large items like this, you can actually, I use old engine oil, and you can actually brush it on with just an old horsehair paintbrush. But you have to get it nice and hot first. Right, so once I've done that, this is what the bluing has turned out like. It was a bit of a trial to see how the finish would actually take on the uni-strut sections, which are here. Now, over this section I've cleaned off most of the zinc galvanizing that was on it quite well using the angle grinder. Now on the underside, however, I didn't spend enough time obviously around this area here, and where the zinc was left on in patches, it's been hard to actually put my bluing or blacking finish onto it. So I'm going to have to do a number of parts of this again. Yeah, but not too bad. The other part, which hasn't come out at all well, because again I haven't taken the zinc plating off, is the actual top cover on it. So that's going to have to be attacked again and try and get more of the zinc plate off. If you can find steel without any zinc plating on, it makes this job a lot easier. You can see just around here where I've done a bit of welding, just there, where the zinc plate was burnt off. The blacking or bluing has actually penetrated a little bit better. But other parts, the actual box section at the back here, which wasn't zinc plated, it worked fairly well, even though I didn't actually spend much time colouring this part of it. The finish has come out quite good, certainly good enough to look like it's come out of World War II. Yeah, that's the stock I've done. See it in better detail. It's slightly less than 2 inches in width, which was a pity, but it's all the wood I had, which was anything like close enough to what I needed, and it is hardwood. It's come out not too bad, that. The trigger mechanism, this isn't fixed in properly yet. Trigger mechanism works okay. Yeah, still got a few, well, a number of details to do, but it's not worth spending too much time fixing up all the other parts on the outside when the internals still need to be done. Now this is how the end of the barrels, the end of the barrel jackets turned out. What I did was I got a small section of pipe which slid over this piece here, and I put it in the lathe, and I've turned 3 little rings into it, so that it looks closer to the real one. Yeah, it's not exactly the same, of course, but from a bit of a distance it looks alright. Now, how I did this was I basically got a piece of paper, this in fact, I rolled a cone of paper up, and then I snipped the ends off until it looked approximately how I wanted it. Yeah. So I knew that piece of paper could be rolled up into a cone. So I laid that down on a piece of metal, marked it off, and then with a little bit of work I managed to hammer that into a cone, and I sat the end through the middle of a washer. Now the washer I actually hit with a ball peen hammer to try and shape it so that it came out a little bit, you know, there's a slight profile there where it's been hit with a hammer in the centre, and because the original one was a bit like that, so I thought I'll replicate it slightly. I've just put the cone into it and I've welded it on the inside, and then I've just welded the washer onto the end of the pipe here, barrel jacket. Then this piece of pipe was sliding up and down, you see, so what I did then was I pushed that up and I've tack welded it in 3 positions. I think I've got 10, no, I can't remember how many holes, but they're approximately 13mm apart, all these holes. I centre punched this before putting it onto the pipe, so I get it all evenly spaced. Yes, so the thing's working out quite well now. It's lying on my camera. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes on the next video.